So while Rob's stuck up the River Severn without a paddle, I'm going to go on my own journey with the new man in my life. Meet Tyfet. Hello. We're going to head off together to the land between those two rivers, the Severn and the Wye, right into the heart of the Forest of Dean. Is he quite obedient?
Oh yeah. Come on, come on.
Tyfet's current home is a farm near Chepstow, where all the animals have something of an exotic edge.
Tyfet is 30. He's a bit frisky just now, but I can assure you that I've got no worries about him at all.
Because I've got a bit of an ordeal to face with Tyfet, don't I? We've got to deliver him by the end of today.
That's right, that's right.
And he hasn't been ridden for 4 years.
No.
Wait, you're a pig. Ooh, no. No, 4 years? I've only got 1 day to get to grips with him. Come on, Tyfet, come on. Come on, good for you. Come on. Oh, Tyfet, steady. No, no, bracken's not good for you, no. No, Kosh, and down. Kosh. God, you're a... God, you need to be he-woman, don't you, to ride a camel on your own? I could never get this up on my own. So Tyfet's maiden voyage is to go deep into the very heart of the Forest of Dean, to Speech House in fact, where he's due to start work taking visitors around the paths and glades of the forest, if he can ever take his mind off his belly.
Oh, let him eat the nipples.
The other camels are a bit miffed because Tyfet and I are hitting the road alone, intrepid explorers out to uncover the real Forest of Dean. Come on, Tyfet. That's if I can find the start button. I think this is the hardest bit. Come on. We're off. Do you have any tips?
Yes, it's 8 feet up and don't fall off.
Well, finally we're on the move. Just me and my camel. I've got until nightfall to deliver Tyfet, and along the way I intend to meet some of his new neighbours and find out what forest life has in store for him. You know, it was in 1938 that the Forest of Dean was designated a National Forest Park, and it was the first of its kind in the whole of England. And this basically meant it'd been recognised for its natural beauty and for the fact it was a great place to keep us lot entertained.
Will you follow the tree?
Oh, well done! Tyfet seems to be making friends easily, and they've already discovered what gets him going. But there's much more to his new home than just leaves and branches. Good boy! You know, in the 17th century, the Forest of Dean had a higher concentration of iron furnaces and forges than anywhere else in the UK, which if you look around here now, it's pretty hard to believe. But incredibly, a few free miners still work and live here today. While Tyfet continues to eat his own body weight in leaves, I've met up with Dave Harvey, a free miner and font of forest knowledge. He's helping to keep the 800-year-old free mining tradition alive.
I think it's a bit of a privilege to be able to say, yes, I'm a free miner. I've been a free miner now since 1963. But to become a free miner, you have to work a year and a day underground, be born in the statutory forest, the Forest of Dean, the hundreds of brevos. The mine owner or manager has got to sign your application, and you take that into the gabbler's office, which is part of the forestry office in Colford, and then you become a free miner. The Forest of Dean, land between two rivers, Severn and Wye, I've always classed it as God's own country. I think so much of the Forest of Dean, with its nature, its landscape, its industrial landscape from the old mines years ago, there's so much to learn and so much to enjoy in the Forest of Dean. I was born and bred here and I love it.
But we can't dilly-dally all day, because Tyfet doesn't dash, he dawdles. And I've got a date with an artist whose work is inspired by the creatures of the forest. What he's going to make of Tyfet is anybody's guess.
I was born and I was brought up here, and so the inspiration comes from the people, the plants, the animals, plus my imagination.
There's something very special about being a forester, isn't there?
We've had a hard time, really. I mean, we've had generations of people who've sort of gleaned their livelihood from scratching about under the ground, on the ground, and using what's available to us. We've created this heritage that we want to hang on to, and we want to talk about it. We want to show other people what we've got. And of course, there's also the natural beauty.
A camel marches on his hump, and a fair few trees in the Forest of Dean. But as for me, I march on my stomach, so I think it's time for a cup of tea and a slice of cake. I don't want you to worry because I've not forgotten about Tyfet. Oh dear me, no. Tyfet? Who's greedy, eh?
Carl, oh come on, does he spit?
No, he doesn't. He's friendly. You can touch him if you like.
Okay.
But we can't sit around all day stuffing our faces. There are people to meet and places to go. And it's going to take a bit more than wet weather to cramp my camel style. Of course, it's not all industrial. The forest's actually got 27,000 acres of woodland. Perfect to get lost in. Not that we're lost, of course. This is just a brief detour to check out Mallard's Pike. It's not bad for something man-made. Pretty good if you fancy a spot of boating in among the ducks. Shame about the rain, though. I've decided Tyfet is just one big kid, and the forest is his very own sweetie shop. Oof, your breath smells. Smelly breath. Come on, you. I've spotted somewhere that's treeless.
Excuse me, can I don't want to interrupt anything, but I'm from Forest of Dean Community Radio, and we've heard about you coming to the forest, and just wondered what's it all about. What's the favourite thing you've seen in the Forest of Dean so far?
What was that? So much for Tyfet's radio debut. Roger's one of 5 paid workers at the Forest of Dean Community Radio. But anyone can come in and make a programme. John Belcher, a true forester, has his own show. And boy, does he exercise his right to free speech.
This my babbies, John Belcher here talking forest.
The dialect is actually based on the Anglo-Saxon. It's very old. For example, if I came up to you and said, "Oh, bist old butty," it means hello friend. A lot of the people who moved in have been very good for the area, but a lot of people who moved in are very bad for the area because they want to turn us into a nice little bit of rural England, rural Kent or Hertfordshire or something like that, and they want it all to be safe and clean. Well, the forest isn't like that. It's a forest, for God's sake, you know, it's a forest. It's got wild animals in it, it's got semi-domestic animals in it, it's got rough people in it.
So Tyfet is just the latest wild animal to be added to the weird and wonderful mix of creatures which inhabit the forest. And the closer we get to its heart, the better behaved he seems to be. At last we've arrived at Speech House. This is actually the historic centre of the forest, and it's also going to be Tyfet's new home, and he's going to be absolutely fine. I've met loads of his new neighbours. They're all totally eccentric, just like he is, and they're also fiercely loyal about the place where they live. So as long as this one minds his P's and Q's, he's going to be totally hunky-dory. And we've only got one thing left to do, and that's to deliver him to his lord and master. We're off to find Alistair. And look who it is if it isn't the Commander-in-Chief of the Camels. I wonder how you arrived here first. Mission complete. One camel safely delivered.
Tyfet.
Much to Alistair's relief. Oh, I'm exhausted. I don't know about Tyfet.
Welcome to Speech House.
And here's to the forest coping with camels.